Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Harrah's Hoosier Park. I am track announcer Michael Chamberlain, and this is the first of our videos for this year's Road to the Derby Challenge, our contest that will take us all the way through the middle of April, and the Lexington Stakes at Keeneland. That's the last race on the contest schedule, and of course, we will take the contest all the way up to the first Saturday in May with the Kentucky Derby at Churchill Downs. We start the Road to the Derby, however, in South Florida at Hallandale Gulfstream Park with the Grade 3 Holy Bull Stakes. They're going 1.1 miles. It's a field of 8 going postward on the main track down there at Gulfstream. They have 3 tracks now. You know, they've got the Tapeta, the Turf, and the main track. So you got to specify which track you're on at Gulfstream. Main track for the Holy Bull Stakes with this very competitive field of 8. As we take a look at some of the horses in here, you've got the horse on the inside, number 1, Lord Miles. Irad Ortiz Jr. is going to be in the saddle there for trainer Saffie Joseph. They're adding blinkers to this horse for this race off of a win to break the maiden and a third-place finish that followed it up in the Mucho Macho Man Stakes at Gulfstream on New Year's Day. Number 2 will be West Coast Cowboy by West Coast, who won some pretty important races during his racing career and is now putting out some pretty decent progeny, including this 3-year-old colt. A win first time out at Gulfstream in the slop, then finished the second race in 4th back in November. So a bit of a break, 2 months plus off for West Coast Cowboy number 2. 3 horses, Shadow Dragon. Bill Mott trains this one, and Bill Mott just won the Pegasus World Cup at Gulfstream Park with Art Collector last weekend, so trying to make it 2 big wins in a row down there in South Florida for trainer Bill Mott. This one broke the maiden with New York State-bred horses at Aqueduct in September, and then finished 6th in the Sleepy Hollow, also a New York State-restricted race. So the 2 previous starts for the 3 Shadow Dragon, both with New York State Restricted Company, so this is quite the jump up in class for the 3. Number 4 is Cyclone Mischief, Tyler Gaffalione riding for trainer Dale Romans. Was 7th in the Kentucky Jockey Club, a Grade 2 race at Churchill Downs back at the end of November. The interesting thing about that race is the winner was Instant Coffee, who came back to win the 2023 debut effort in the LeCompte Stakes, the first race on the Louisiana branch of the Road to the Derby. Got that win over the course of the last week at the Fairgrounds in New Orleans, establishing Instant Coffee as one of the early favorites for the first Saturday in May already. This horse has faced that horse, finished behind Instant Coffee, but then bounced back to win the next race January 8th down there at Gulfstream. The 5 is Mr. Bob. Joel Rosario is riding this one. They're adding blinkers here, too, to this son of Practical Joke out of a Tisway mare. Did score a win at Keeneland, going 6.5 furlongs at the end of October, and then backed that up with a second in the Ed Brown at Churchill Downs at the end of November. So a couple of nice Kentucky finishes for Mr. Bob, who I think is actually the price horse in this race, 10-1 on the morning line. Number 6 is Legacy Isle. Luis Saez will have the ride here. Could very well be undefeated. 3 previous starts, crossed the wire first in all 3 of them, but was disqualified and placed 2nd in the Mucho Macho Man down there at Gulfstream on January 1st. This will be the first time Luis Saez will ride this colt by Shackelford, a former Preakness winner, out of a Read the Footnotes mare. And Read the Footnotes, a previous Derby Prep winner down there in South Florida. Read the Footnotes having won one of these early prep races. I believe it was the Fountain of Youth. That year that Smarty Jones won the Kentucky Derby. Read the Footnotes was part of that Derby crop. Number 7 is Il Miracolo. Il Miracolo is trained by Antonio Sano. Gunrunner is the sire of this one, and Gunrunner's been putting out some very nice progeny. This one is also out of a Tappet mare. So the lineage for number 7, Il Miracolo, is very nice indeed. Finished 6th in the Grade 2 Remsen and was 7th in the Mucho Macho Man at Gulfstream Park. Did have a win 3 starts back at Gulfstream, going a mile on November 12th. That is the lone win of this one's career. And we round out the field with number 8, Rocket Can by Into Mischief out of a Tappet mare. Has been away from the races since the end of November, but does have a win and a second in the last 2 starts at this mile and a 16th distance. The win coming in the slop at Churchill Downs, and then backed it up with a second also there under the Twin Spires in Kentucky. So that's a look at our field of 8. As we take a look at who we like in this race, I'm going to put the 6-horse Legacy Isle on top. Legacy Isle is my top selection, 7-2 on the morning line. Second choice here, as I mentioned, should be undefeated, but did have that disqualification in the most recent effort. And you're getting Luis Saez riding for the first time. I think that's a very crucial improvement for this Shackelford offspring. I like number 6, Legacy Isle, as the top selection. My second pick is the 2-1 favorite in here, number 4, Cyclone Mischief. Posted a 90 Beyer speed figure in that last victory with Optional Claiming Company on January 8th at Gulfstream. Tyler Gaffalione rode that race and now is coming back to ride again here. So we put the 4 Cyclone Mischief second. I mentioned I thought that the 5-horse Mr. Bob is the likely long shot in here. This one's 10-1 in the morning line, and I think you're going to get a very nice price. Again, Joel Rosario and blinkers on this 3-year-old colt, and again does have 2 top 3 finishes in the course of the last 3 starts, that win and second in Kentucky. Fourth pick, I'm going to use the horse on the inside, number 1, Lord Miles. The other one adding blinkers here, and Irad Ortiz Jr., always tough in the saddle, has the ride for Saffie Joseph. So I think the top 4 of 6-4, 5-1 is a very solid top 4 in the Holy Bull on Saturday at Gulfstream Park. The play for the race in here, we've got a modest play, $12 total, a $2 exacta box with our top 2 picks, 4 and 6, Cyclone Mischief and Legacy Isle, and then a $1 trifecta using those 2 horses in the first 2 spots, and we spread out to go 4 deep in the 3rd spot using the 1, Lord Miles, the 5, Mr. Bob, the 7, Il Miracolo, and the 8, Rocket Can. So it's a $12 total play, as we're starting off a little slow here on the road to the Derby as far as how much we're going to invest in our play of the race. But for this first race, we're going to spend $12 and hopefully get back a nice return if we've got this race pegged correctly. So that is our first race on the road to the Derby Challenge here at Harrah's Hoosier Park. We invite you to play in the contest not only this week, but all the way through the middle of April, as we'll be having Road to the Derby Challenge races throughout the season, and we'll be having videos for each of these races as well, all the contest races all the way through. The Lexington Stakes come mid-April down there at Keeneland, so we are very excited to once again present the Road to the Derby Challenge here at Harrah's Hoosier Park. We hope you'll come out to the track and take part, and for all of us here at Harrah's Hoosier Park, I'm Michael Chamberlain, wishing the best of luck to you all.